Good evening, Bald Father Bet community, and welcome back to another show. So we will go over recap of Saturday, opening Saturday of the 2025 football season, the week 0 games in college football, and then we'll lay out the 2 picks that we have for Thursday night of week 1. First, please, if you are supporting the channel, just please subscribe, like, comment on this video, make sure your notifications are on so you're getting our community posts, you're getting our videos when we upload them. Sometimes we do upload them closer to kickoff, and make sure then that you're not missing out on any of the content. We'll always keep these picks free. Only thing that we ask is that you just support the channel. It's completely free to you. Just subscribe to it, and then share us around, like, comment, help us get that engagement up. First off, very important thing here. So we're going with the robe. We're doing robe picks tonight. Last year we experimented with the glasses, if you remember, so we could see the lines clear and better. Had mixed results with that one. Some days the glasses, we were seeing the lines crystal, and then other days it was like we were looking through mud. So wasn't really able to have a correlation between glasses and units record. So we're going to start at the season, and we're going to see do we have a correlation between robe picks and units record. I will make sure I have those numbers crunched and that data available, and I'll get back to you guys to let you know what we're thinking there. So anyway, last Saturday, 1 and 3 in terms of units. Obviously, the swing game there being the 2 units that we had on Iowa State and Kansas State, where we had Kansas State -3. Kansas State ultimately ended with more yards. They had a lot less first downs. A lot of that had to do with the 65-yard touchdown pass that they threw in the fourth quarter, but then they never got the ball back. But really the main difference in the game was they were 1 for 4 on fourth down, with 2 of them being extremely significant. One being after they got the ball off a turnover in the Iowa State red zone, so in a closer to the goal line situation, had like a 4th and 1 where they got stopped, where they were looking to take a 14-7 lead, and then the other one obviously in the fourth quarter on their own side of the field. I think Avery Johnson probably got that, but with the fact that the hash marks weren't able to stay on the field because of the rain, I also agree. I don't really see how you overturn that call with what the video evidence was and then what you could see. Tough situation. You could argue Kansas State probably should have won. We probably were on the right side of that. We should have won the bet. But that one's close enough to where, Iowa State won the game. Iowa State hit some very crucial third down throws. Beck didn't have that great of a game overall, but he hit some big boy throws, that's for sure. And Kansas State had too many mistakes, too many turnovers, too many penalties, too many mistakes. They didn't take advantage of the first half where they clearly dominated, right? Kansas State's defensive line was dominating Iowa State's offensive line. Iowa State was having missed assignments all across the offensive line. Kansas State was getting pre-rushers, all that stuff. And Kansas State didn't take advantage of that. If you do that, then you leave the other team susceptible to figure things out and get going. And once Iowa State got going, it wasn't like there was another gear that Kansas State was able to hit to take it into. Their opportunity there was in the first half. They could have put that game in, not away, but in a very comfortable manner based on the way that first half went, and they didn't. And when they did not, then Iowa State came back in. So, fun game. We got things kicked off. Like I said, in all actuality, it was probably a 1-unit game. We went 2 units just to have fun because it was the opening game of the year. So start off the year at 1 and 3. The other 2 games were then in the later window. One we told you we were potentially going to do a community post on, and then one that went into a play range very, very late. Unfortunately, I wish it hadn't have. But so we had Fresno State plus 14 and a half. Yeah, plus 14 and a half against Kansas. That didn't matter. They lost 31-7. They really never had a chance in that situation. It looked early on like E.J. Warner and the offense had some stuff going through the air, But at the end of the day, Kansas just completely controlled them on the other side of the field when Kansas was on offense with their ground game. Jalen Daniels being completely healthy and being in complete control, and also kind of that emotional push they had of finally playing in their home stadium after last year having to play in the Kansas City Chiefs stadium for every home game, not really having a real home field advantage. That was too much to overcome. Fresno State could not do that. And then in the final game, we did have Hawaii minus the 2.5 against -2, -1.5, whatever it was, we won. Again, that one also in a community post. And if we should have won the Kansas State-Iowa State game, we should have lost the Hawaii-Stanford game. How Hawaii got that win against the corpse that is Stanford and is just pretty incredible. And what an awesome story with the kicker. That was a cool moment for college football for sure. Got that win there, so rescued us from having a winless day, and 1-3 to open up the season. So then we move into Thursday night, week 1 college football. 2 games we're playing. One we've already placed, so that is USF plus 7.5 for 2 units. That line has come down. It's anywhere between 5.5, 6, or 6.5. I still like it at 6.5, if I'm being honest. 7 is a very key number, though, so I understand if you do want to taper your units on it. I love Alex Golesh. I think he's one of the better up-and-coming non-power head coaches. He tends to do well in these matchups. I like what they're returning in terms of getting a healthy quarterback back that they didn't have through the second half of the year. I like their history of performance in these games to start off, and it's more, I know the one everyone points to is Alabama, and it's like, well, Alabama benched Milroe and played someone else. There's more than just that, and you should go and you should look at some of that history. The other thing that I look at in this one is the weather. So Tampa is projected to be in the 90s, so high of 90, 91 on Saturday. And we're having cooler temperatures across the country for opening week 1. It's been pretty well documented. A lot of football games are going to actually feel like fall and not like summer. But the humidity is still expected to be around 70%. So people can be like, oh, well, look at Boise. Like, the average temperature in August in Boise is 90 degrees as well. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, but they have extremely low humidity compared to what USF has. If you remember correctly, in the playoff last year, weather was a factor when some of these southern teams went up north to play. Well, this is the time of year when weather's a factor when one of the northern teams comes down south to play. A lot of times they're just not used to how hot it is, especially the heat with the humidity. That humidity, I don't know if you've ever been to Tampa Bay, that is a different monster than anything you're going to get in that Pacific West, Mountain West region, whatever the hell they call that area, Idaho, that you're going to get there. Will also be a factor in our Notre Dame Miami pick. I think we've already given it out, but when we do the deep one into that. But the main thing here is I like Golesh, and I do not like Boise State in their first game without Ashton Jeanty. You can tell me that Maddox is a good quarterback. I'm not going to disagree with you. What I'm going to say is I want you to go back and I want you to watch film on Boise, and I want you to watch how people defended Boise. It was loaded box after loaded box after loaded box after loaded box because of how much you had to respect Jeanty. And even with that, he still went off. I think that without that, and we're not talking about like, okay, well, just a guy that you replace when you're Boise State. We're talking about, I don't know if you've been watching the Raiders in preseason at all, but we're talking about an NFL first-round running back who's a clear NFL starter that was at Boise State. Those guys do not come through Boise State all the time. If you think that they're not going to feel the loss of Jeanty, you're kind of crazy. And I like Golesh and his ability to scheme up against that. So I actually think USF is live to win this game, but we don't do that here because not dumb. We take points when they're given to us. So we have USF plus 7.5 for 2 units. I still like it at the 6.5. But again, understand if you wanna taper your units. So then the second game, I told you we'd have a pick for it. Just needed to get it locked in and confirmed. We're taking Cincinnati plus 7 for 1 unit against Nebraska. There's a few things here with this one. So people are mistakenly calling this a home game for Cincinnati. It is not. It is a neutral site game in the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium, and the fans will probably be 90% Nebraska fans. I don't expect a lot of Cincinnati fans to travel down to Kansas City, Missouri to watch this game. If you know anything about the Nebraska fan base when it comes to football, you know that they probably will travel down to see this game. What I am looking at here is a few things. So in theory, the biggest matchup advantage in this game is Nebraska's passing attack versus Cincinnati's pass defense if Raiola has made the steps that everyone in the national media and everybody's talking about, thinking that he's made. I think Raiola will ultimately be a very good quarterback. In year 2 in game 1, do I expect to see some of those pushes? Maybe. Last year to open up the week, we took West Virginia against Penn State with some of the similar thinking of that Aller wouldn't, and you guys know I'm a big Drew Aller fan. I think he has round 1, pick 1 potential. People in the Big Ten who don't understand why he's a better NFL prospect than Will Howard don't understand the NFL draft, but that's whatever. But I faded Penn State in that opening game, and we faded them in that opening game, a lot having to do with that Aller wouldn't have everything cleaned up from the previous season. We were wrong. So absolutely, Raiola can come in game 1 and look like, oh wow, full off season, this guy is going to have an amazing year. Absolutely could. But this idea that Nebraska's passing attack will exploit Cincinnati's pass defense is really reliant on him and the steps that he will take and the steps that he's made. Then outside of that, I'm looking a little bit at Cincinnati's run game against Nebraska, where in theory they're also a little bit weak in the interior defensive line. And I'm not saying that Cincinnati's has this great offensive line. They don't. They're Cincinnati. But does Nebraska field something that can contain Cincinnati with a light box? I think the answer is no. So then if Nebraska has to commit more to stopping the run, what does that open up for Cincinnati in the passing attack and in the passing game? I do think with a lot of the hype around Nebraska and a lot of the picking them to go to the playoff and picking them to win the Big Ten and all that stuff, I think a lot of people are forgetting that their over-under win tunnel is at 7.5. There's a reason that the over-under win total is at 7.5 and that sportsbooks haven't come off the number. I don't necessarily think this is as shoe-in of a team to go 9-3 or 10-2 as a lot of other people think. I'm not saying they're going to lose to Cincinnati, but when you're getting that 7, when you're getting that key number of a touchdown and points in an opening game and a team that has not necessarily proven anything to you, that's too many points to pass up in a week 1 game. So with that, we're taking Cincinnati plus 7, and that's going to be for 1 unit. So just as a recap, we have USF plus 7.5 for 2 units, and we have Cincinnati plus 7 for 1 unit. We've already been through the plays that we've already laid for we haven't laid anything for Friday. For Saturday and Sunday, as well as the opening play for the NFL game. Take a look at our previous videos if you want to see those now. Moving on throughout the weekend, obviously we'll come out with a video for Friday games, Saturday games, the 2 Sunday games, and the Monday game individually. Reminder, housekeeping topic. So I'm going to the University of Texas Ohio State game. So that Saturday video probably is not coming out Saturday morning the way it usually would. It'll probably be coming out Friday night, Friday day, something like that. It's a noon kickoff, unfortunately. So with it being a noon kickoff, well, or fortunately for Texas, for my horns, with it being a noon kickoff, we have an alarm set to start drinking very early. So I don't know if we will be able to come at you with a video Saturday morning. We'll probably get that done Friday night. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Always appreciate the interaction. Please, again, give the video like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure your notifications are on. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you like those picks, USF, Cincinnati. Let us know if you hate them. If you're all over Boise State, Nebraska, let us know why. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, and hope you have a great night. We are 2 days away from week 1 opening kickoff, USF, Boise State. Appreciate it. Have a great night.